Thanks, listeners, for joining us, and welcome to this edition of Elko Live here on KELK. We're so excited because it's officially summer now, and we are headed into an exciting season of events and activities, and one of the most popular events is hosted in part by a local family who's been doing this now for a couple of generations, and the Elko Lions Club, and with support from Elko Convention and Visitors Authority. So I'd like to welcome John Ellison to the studio. John, it's great to see you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're, of course, going to be talking about 4th of July fireworks show. What a great tradition.
You know, and thank God that the Lions Club and the Convention Center jumped on board and helped. We were just up to our eyeballs with elections and businesses and stuff, so it really worked out really good. I'm so happy that we got partners out there. Kind of miss Paul because he helped quite a bit in some stuff out there, and so we lost a few on the way. But I'm just really happy that we're moving forward and getting partnerships out there and making this thing work.
Thanks, John. We'll talk more with John Ellison, but with many thanks to Michelle Cromwell, who's here representing Elko Convention and Visitors Authority. Michelle, you're the events and marketing coordinator, and you have some great news, maybe not such great news if people haven't bought their box seats yet, because we're getting close, right?
We are getting close. What are we, little bit more than a week away?
July 4th, it's a Thursday this year, but we're blowing out all the stops as usual.
We are. We're excited. We are officially we're sold out of the box seats, and we have about 56 tables left.
Wow, and that is it. If you want that front row seat to all the entertainment and to the ground display of the fireworks, this is the action that happens at the Elko County Fairgrounds. If I'm not mistaken, started with John Carpenter and crew, more than 20 years ago. Obviously, your family, John, was involved in this from day one.
Actually, it started about 30 years ago when I was on the city council, and the VFW come in and said, look, it just costs so much to put it on, and people are getting older, and they said, so we have $1,000 or whatever it was, $1,200, and we want to give you to, if somebody will take it, but he said, we just can't raise enough money to put it on. So I said, we cannot go with the 4th of July. We can't. It's about the birth of our country and what this nation stands for. But it was kind of amazing because the first person that jumped in there to help me was Jim Polkinghorn,
the
our
mayor at the
very
time.
first year, and it worked out really good. We didn't have the show that we wanted, but it was a good show. And so it's grown from 3,000 to where it is today, and this is one of the biggest single-shot shows in the western part of the United States.
Yeah, this crew that comes out and puts on the 4th of July fireworks display, they know to order early and to be here early because they have a lot of setting up to do, don't they, John?
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. And we have to put the deposit down before January. So we have to pay half the show in January. If not, we lose that discount. Because they have to order in this product. They build it in Utah, but we wouldn't have the show if it wasn't for the people of Elko.
It's a huge fireworks display, and it does include local entertainment. We're going to talk about that as well. Mm-hmm. But Michelle, we just want to remind people that of those tables that are left, that's kind of a special perk, right? If you purchase table seating, that's right there close to the ground display, right?
Yes, it is. If you purchase those are $200, and they include 6 seats, and then it gives you access to the VIP, which includes sandwiches, cookies, and some chips, and then you'll get 12 drink tickets that you can use towards drinks down there at the Cowboy Bar as well.
That's great. And front row seat to entertainment, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Right. And again, this is a joint project. And John, I think about in years past, we do, obviously John Carpenter has passed away. I remember Lynn Rubel, how she would sing the national anthem and just have everybody on their feet and tears streaming down their face.
And Charlie Myers.
Of course.
Because Charlie Myers jumped in there right off. And he did everything from the crow's nest up there, and he did that up until the time he left Elko. And him and Tammy both were up there in the crow's nest, and we we worked on that strongly through the years.
And of course, Charlie's passed away. Charlie and John both served on city council together.
That's right.
Before then, you were each elevated at different times to the county commission, and Charlie retired from that. He was he was a morning host on KRJC, and he and his wife Tammy did relocate to Tennessee, and sadly, Charlie passed away a few years ago. But his memory lives on for sure.
It'll never be forgot. And you know, Tammy moved back to Elko.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's wonderful to have here. And then we got a couple things that's going to happen, and we're putting everything together right now. And what it is there was a soldier that passed just recently, and also we have a friend that was always involved with the Lions Club, and he will be honored this year also. And to give you a little hint, he used to own one of his State Farm insurance.
Oh, yes, I know who you're talking about.
And
yes.
wonderful man. He did a lot for our community, and so we need to recognize him. And
Posthumously,
what he's done.
yes.
That's right.
He was in the station not long ago, but it was a few weeks ago, obviously, and I didn't know if you wanted to say his name or not, but certainly we can.
Go ahead.
We can talk about Paul Stevens.
That's
yes.
right.
So, and we will be remembering and honoring Paul Stevens during this fireworks show at the Elko County Fairgrounds on July 4th. Very cool.
Well, I think we're going to have a good display. You've got what did you call them, the clatter band, or it's brass band.
Yes, the brass band.
Oh, we've got a brass band
We
coming.
do.
Cool.
There's six people, I believe, is what
I think
he
it
said.
is, yeah. And we have the young couple that been singing the national anthem for how long? And they are so good.
Wow.
My God. And they live in Crescent Valley. But they make that trip, and my God, they're so good. Their voice is just unbelievable.
So that'll all be featured from the Elko County Fairgrounds. All right. So people can reserve these tables again at the sound of our conversation. Only a few tables left, Michelle, but you can go online or visit in person or call on the phone.
Yes, absolutely. You guys can go to exploreelko.com. Under the events, there's a drop-down box that's Elko 4th of July. You can just go right on there and purchase your seats, or you can always call 775-738-4091. They're at the Elko Convention Center, and we can help you over the phone as well.
All right. You can use credit cards, obviously. Just reserve those seats because once they go, they're gone, right?
Yep.
All right.
They'll still be general admission. They can still come in through general admission and sit in the bleachers. And when it's getting dark, right before we go to the candlelight vigil, you'll look up there and it's packed. So get there early, you get your spot saved, and then of course the VFW will be there to help sell refreshments and chips and hot dogs and chorizo, this kind of stuff.
So it's a wonderful Elko County tradition, family-friendly, a great show, live entertainment. It's all completely local, and it's just the way that Elko County turns out for the 4th of July.
That's correct.
All right. We know there are Basque festivities this weekend, right? Or that same weekend, right, Michelle? Yes.
Yep, those will start. I think there's a kickoff Friday night, and those are Saturday and Sunday.
And we have Silver State Stampede. They are going to be following close by that. They are actually now doing the parade, which, they fold a little bit of everything into the parade downtown Elko.
Yes, that starts at 11.
Yep. So it's going to be a big 4th of July weekend. It really is. So that's Thursday. 4th of July starts things off, leading right into National Basque Festival and Silver State Stampede. The legend lives on with the oldest rodeo. All these events are great for locals, Michelle, but as you well know, being with the ECVA, they also attract people to our community.
Yes, they do. We appreciate them coming in and filling our hotel rooms and visiting our restaurants, and we enjoy doing things for the community and surrounding people that come in and visit us.
In fact, Michelle, as in her role as the events and marketing coordinator, you help to oversee distribution of some of the room tax, the lodging funds that go to help promote these special events year-round.
Yes, we do. That's our NOFA, or Notice of Funding, and we do 2 cycles of that, and we like to help the different events that are here with their marketing and getting the word out and getting people to come to our area and visit.
And they're very diverse events. Sometimes they're smaller in size, and then sometimes they're huge, like the Ruby Mountain Balloon Festival. We've got the Ruby Roubaix going on this weekend, Elko
That's right.
Rotary. Yeah.
That's right. That is going on this weekend, the 22nd.
Yeah. Lamoille Country Fair's coming up. That's at the end of the month, last Sunday, I guess the 30th.
The 30th,
Yeah. So just a few of the fun events that we have upcoming and ongoing here in the Elko community. But 4th of July is what we really wanted to emphasize. Are there any other notes or sponsors or anything that you wanted to mention?
I did. I wanted to mention that our gold sponsors, that we're very grateful for them going forward for the 4th of July. This year, Nevada Gold Mines, they donated amount for our gold sponsorship, along with American High Voltage, the Elko Convention and Visitors Authority, and Meridian Pacific.
Very nice.
And you forgot Dave Zorns at the
the Stockmans. Yes,
Oh,
I did.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah.
You're very right.
Yeah, and that was a large donation. Plus, he supplies the rooms for the pyros.
Oh.
So there's a lot that they do for this community, and I don't think people realize. So thank you, Dave Zorns.
Absolutely.
And,
Yes.
and
you're
Dave
right.
is a board member, too, with the ECVA Board of Governors, so he knows full well how important these contributions are. In fact, you can continue to make contributions, be a sponsor, if not even in time for this year's festivities, but to keep this tradition alive. Is that right?
That's right. And actually, we collect the money as much as we can because this goes for the deposit, but we still haven't paid off the show yet. So that final check goes that night. We usually pay them off that night or the next morning for the pyros to go back.
Those pyrotechnicians, and it's tens of thousands of dollars. That's the reality, right, John?
And it's an amazing show. And we try to design everything down around the arena. So if you're up at the park or up on the hill, you'll miss a lot of this. You need to really be in there to see what's in that arena. It's amazing.
The ground displays that John's talking about. John Ellison, and John is a longtime local elected official, and he has been serving on this committee. And a lot of credit to your daughter, Michelle, because yes.
All my children they've stuck with it as we go, and Michelle's been there with us quite a bit through the beginning, and Nicole, and actually there's another thing that's helping is the Lions Club is going to help decorate this year, and that's where it took a lot of time, trying to put on the show, get the seating, get everything
Put up the
cleaned
bunting, yes.
And so now the Lions Club's going to jump in, help do some of that too.
Oh, that's fantastic. And so all of these organizations, groups, we talk about whether it's Rotary, Lions Club, they're always seeking volunteers and members, by the way. So they're just having a little convo here. So, yeah.
Yeah, Michelle has got something to, we tried to put as many people in there as we could, but Michelle and these guys have said, look, let's open that up on the tables and chairs. So you want to speak on that?
Sure.
It gives
Yeah,
them-
so down below, so you have your box seats that are up, and then down below there's the tables, and they sit the same. They're the table with 6 seats. And it's in the past, it's been pretty squished in, and people trying to get in and out and things like that. So we actually are going to move them and spread them apart a little bit, maybe easier access for people to get in and out throughout the show.
Oh, good. So plenty of accessibility for people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because, sometimes as you get older, it's a little more difficult getting up and down stairs and in and out of, like you said. And it's an older wooden platform. But again, it turns into this spectacular showcase, like you said, come nightfall for the 4th of July. So.
And the candlelight visual, the candles are supplied by Elko County. And so it's kind of a great deal to come and see that. And that is a guiding light for soldiers and people that's away from home to find is a guiding light to get them home.
Oh, I was going to ask what that service is about.
Yeah.
So again, 4th of July means a lot of different things for different people, but this event will have a lot of Elko County spirit exhibited during the show. All right.
Well, I wish Annette was here because we got so much to that we could have added, and she's got a different take on a lot of stuff, and she's been really wonderful.
Oh, absolutely. And Annette's been coming in, and we've been talking regularly, John, because the Elko Convention and Visitors Authority is so key to so many events and really is a backbone for a lot of activities, ongoing tourism. I mean, obviously the official visitors authority for this part of cowboy country,
That's right.
with the state. So we really appreciate the work that you do, Michelle. It's a very small staff, by the way, from the executive directors you mentioned, Annette Kerr, to Kimberly Longley, who's, the convention and event manager, the work you do in managing and marketing events, Michelle. You have an administrative assistant and one accountant, and then all the facilities. Think about those 2 buildings and the enormity of all of those, just the square footage. And you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 5 people, 5 or 6 people.
And they're amazing. They're a great team.
They would have to be, right?
Absolutely. Great team.
And then board members, too, for the ECVA include the chair, City of Elko's liaison, Councilman Chip Stone, vice chair, county liaison, Commissioner Delmo Andriozzi, David Zorns, as we mentioned, the CEO of the Stockmans. At large is Patricia Anderson, and also at large is Marissa Lostra, who is a candidate for council. So we should probably mention that for her. So, yeah.
And I want to give kudos to Mark Paris. I mean, we've worked on this thing for so many years together, and I'll call him up. Mark, is there any way we can stretch another 10,000 in this or 5,000 in this? And
he's your money guy?
Oh, yeah, he was wonderful. You couldn't ask for a better person. And he'd figure it out, and we'd made things work. So his heart's in the right spot.
All right, Mark. So you've got your public thank yous from our team here today representing the 4th of July fireworks show from the Elko Convention Center. And, of course, sitting side by side with Michelle Cromwell from the ECVA, it's John Ellison. Anything else on fireworks that we wanted to mention? I just want to make sure we're getting in all the thank yous and the sponsors. Again, we still have an opportunity to purchase those tickets for the tables. Box seats are sold out, but tables are available.
Yes, they are. Just go to exploreelko.com or give us a call at 775-738-4091.
Very good. And John, do we get to all your thank yous, I hope?
Oh, thank you. And
Wow.
I'm just so happy to get some help. Because sometimes it gets a little busy, and my family are getting a little older.
Well, not to mention, you haven't aged a day, right? That's what you're. We appreciate the work that obviously the Ellison family has put into this, and as you said, it's a generational effort now. And John, it'd be premature, I guess, to say congratulations, but most recently, John Ellison was a Nevada Senate District 19 candidate, and now we can safely say that you are heir apparent. You don't have any challenge, any opposition come November.
Thank God it's over. I got to have one vote during the November election, so I called Guguchier. He called me and I said, okay, how much you going to charge me for that one vote? So I talk to Pete every day, and we're just happy it's over, and we'll represent the state, even though it's a bigger, giant district. It's from Idaho, Utah, all the way to the California border, and so we'll still do everything we can to make it work for Nevadans throughout the whole state.
And John, that you mentioned that it is a huge area, and it was not always that way. That was a result of redistricting, and the Democrats were in the driver's seat. We're not trying to turn this into a political show. We'll have time to do that later, John.
Yeah.
But obviously, it does make it cumbersome and difficult, and some people may feel like it's almost impossible to represent because. We have people all the way in Pahrump.
That's right.
And as you said, from Pahrump to Hawaii, West Wendover to who knows.
I've been on the phone for the last 2 days straight trying to fix problems already. And I said, well, let me call the governor's office. Let me call Pete. Let me call whoever. And we've been able to get most of them resolved. White Rock is really getting ate up right now by crickets. It's massive bad. But I got people that's head of the, executive to one of the big casinos in Nevada. made a mistake on his application and could get his application through. That's his main job. And so we're trying to resolve issues like this, and we get it done. It just takes a lot of phone calls.
From Mormon cricket infestations to major casino CEOs who said, I missed my deadline. I'm going to need some help on this. Wow, John, and you're already, as you said, at work. Pete Goycochea is the retiring senator in the district, obviously. So, and you'll be, I'm sure, relying on him quite a bit.
A lot. And Pete's a good friend. Mm-hmm. And we served together at the state assembly, and then he went on to the Senate, and then I stayed at the Assembly up until for 12 years. So
yeah, definitely have more than just your feet wet in this. So what are you most looking forward to about being senator? I guess you get a whole new building. They're working on construction right now.
Well, I've already got 3 bills that we're proposing already. I'm hoping to get that to LCB right away. And one's from the chief of police in Elko. One is from the district attorney, and the sheriff's working on one. But we got some issues with people with felony records creating more and more felonies. And I think between the chief of police and the city and the county and the district attorney, we can resolve some of these issues for the safety of our citizens in Elko. And this is the whole state. And so it's a great bill. And we got a governor that understands this. So I'm really pretty happy. And we're keeping our fingers crossed that we keep and maintain the seating we've got at the legislature, because if we lose the one seat, we will not have a way to stop some bills.
Right, and that's obviously out of our control. It's not our district.
That's right.
The one seat is in the South. So.
That's right.
So, John, so the bill that you're working on has the DA, the chief, and possibly the sheriff. So it has to do with those who are booked into jail and released early?
Well, there's public safety. There's quite a bit in different public safety issues, but there's 3 different bills.
Oh, three different ones.
We had an individual that has several felonies.
Repeat offenders.
And he'd get out and create another one, get out, do another. And the last one he did, that's when we decided we've got to do something. He cut up his girlfriend this is ridiculous. We've got to do something to protect the citizens out there on the street. And the city was great with this. The chief of police typed this up where it is actually flawless. So instead of me making the changes, I'm going to introduce that bill based on what the chief come up with. It's a good bill.
I know he's been talking about it. I believe that's not the exact same issue that you just mentioned, John, but on this radio show because of the concerns of the one-size-fits-all legislation.
Right.
It was enabled to address problems in some of these urban centers, but in rural Nevada, it doesn't seem to work the same. It creates different issues.
And that's in everything we deal with. And there for a while, we used to do a pop cap, is what we call the pop cap. We could actually say, being we're in a rural area and that doesn't affect us.
Population.
We could actually put this bill in where it'd only be in Las Vegas or whatever. Then they come back and said, no more. So we're going to try to keep using that, because without it, like you said, one size don't fit all. It does not. And I've been there. So I know, and that's what we got to do, is we got to fight some of these issues. But the district attorney's got one on like child trafficking and mostly things to do with children. So we're hoping we can get that bill through. And, the DA helped me get that bill through for the people going through private lots that happened to kill our pastor's son at Walmart.
Oh, the parking lot,
and,
right.
There was an exemption. You couldn't hold them. So that bill's in law now, thank God, and the DA did a great job on that.
And that was one of the first things that Tyler Ingram did as an elected district attorney. So, and you're right, the Child Advocacy Center obviously is doing a very important work in the community, sadly, but necessary. And so we'll have to check in with the DA about that to see the legislation that he's working on, John.
And Tyler's great at this, and it's to do with pornography and stuff like this, and it has to get into law if we're going to protect our children. This has got to be there.
All right. So ongoing issues, obviously, and then something you're working on with the sheriff. We're already looking to expand the jail, right? The final expansion for behavioral health.
Yeah, and they're going to have to do something. I look at that police report down there. That place is packed.
I think I just saw where last week they had an incident in the jail, and they had quite a few. So. Yeah, it's a situation. It is definitely a problem with inmates that have behavioral health issues, or they have withdrawals from drugs when they're booked in. So that's what the county commission is considering. So I guess funding that expansion of the jail.
Well, we're really looking forward. And the other thing is we've got to get that airport. We've got to have that flight. And Pete and I had the money twice, and then the governor's come up and said, you'll either sign the commerce tax or else. And there's no way we could support that bill. And so we lost that funding. And then our assemblyman did a great job this last session. But we still got to get the funding, and depends on who's going to be on Ways and Means and go that way. But we got to get that funding to get this airport. We had offsets that was presented would have paid most of the cost for that airport.
Wasn't that tied into the Christmas tree legislation, John?
Yeah.
So I have to apologize. I did not get up to speed for this conversation. So will you come back, and so we can?
Oh, you bet.
Let's start talking about this again as we go forward, because we know the election's not until November. I think everybody understands that, but we're not giving John Ellison an unfair advantage because you have no competition. So
that's it.
And if Pete wants to come in and talk about, because when does he officially give up his seat?
It's in November.
Okay, when you take office, then he will. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, in January is when you do the swearing in. But,
yes. Okay.
Yeah. But if it'd be great to get the chief of police and maybe the district attorney and maybe even the sheriff in at the same time, and we could talk about this bill. And that's where you add in the other ones that's out there. Mm-hmm. Thank God at the Senate I can get more bills to get introduced. So.
Well, and you'll definitely be a freshman senator, but certainly a senior lawmaker, as you mentioned, with 12 years experience in the assembly. And it's so hard to say what could happen. We just have to watch and see where the majority is going to, if it's going to shake out, or if the South will prevail.
Yeah, Robin Titus called me the other day and said, you're supposed to wait till November or January. But you're already seated, so you'll be on all the caucus calls and meetings and fundraisers, this kind of stuff. So that was good. I'd like to hear that.
So you were at work, John. Good.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah, we've been at work from
know.
Day one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's important. And I think we need to get out there and hit the ground running. We can't wait, because if we do, we'll be behind.
Senate District 19, again, it's huge. It's probably one of the largest in the entire United States,
It's
frankly.
one of the largest.
Yeah.
I think
there,
Alaska.
6 counties?
I think Alaska, there's, in my county, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's half the state.
It is.
And people don't realize, and the people in Las Vegas, they live right down the street from each other. And so it makes it kind of difficult, but they were trying to control, how they could do this. And thank God we could maintain that one little area.
Well, I wish we could have gotten that independent redistricting commission. I think that would have made sense.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Well, John, I think we'll just have to have more of these conversations. It's just a couple minutes past. I know you're busy, and I appreciate your having even the beginning of a conversation so we can...
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Thanks to the Convention Center again. Just a few more tickets to sell for tables, but general admission will be there, and that's free at the gate, right? Just to sit in the stands.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
Well, I don't know if they're going to... We always have a donation.
Oh, that's right. You take
They're
a
going
donation.
to.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And if you don't have it, you don't have to pay. But the thing of it is we don't want nobody to go away. And that's been one of the things we had from day one is people stand out there outside the gate and with children and couldn't get in. So we said no.
So again, thanks to the generous local sponsors, whether you're a business leader, a family, civic leader, all the contributions that you make the fireworks show happen for everybody, no matter where you're seated. We all get to enjoy the 4th of July fireworks festivities. So thanks to your contributions and the legacy of people, John, like you and your family.
Yep.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Michelle, thank you from the ECVA. We'll catch up again when your boss gets back, right?
Sounds good.
All right.
Yes.
Sounds good. Listeners, thank you for joining us for today's program, Elko Live here on KELK. ExploreElko.com. That is your website to get more information about sponsoring or getting a table so you can be right there with all the action during the 4th of July fireworks show this year.